Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make this clover design, which was designed by me. So this is actually a design I made last year, but then I didn't get to make a tutorial for it because I designed it way too close to St. Patrick's Day. I believe, like, I posted these guys on St. Patrick's Day, so I didn't make a tutorial, but I remembered I had this design this year, and I was like, hey, I should make a tutorial for that, so that's what we're doing. And this is the design. This is, like, the final version. As you can see, I made, like, a 4-leaf clover, so this guy has 4 leaves. And then this one only has 3 leaves, just because I think, yeah, most clovers have 3 leaves, and that's why I did it like that. If this one looks a little funky, it's just because I put his face a little too high. I was trying to figure out what it was, and then I showed it to my grandma, and she was like, you put the face way too high, and I was like, oops. So, yeah. So this is the, like, final version. These are the ones I made last year, so we have another 3-leaf. And then we have this guy who's a 4-leaf. You can barely see his face because he's such a dark green color. But yeah. So this design is I don't want to say it's hard because it's not hard. It's just very tight, as well as we do a little bit, some different things than we usually do. It's made a little weird basically because of like how you want to get the shape. I don't think it's too hard. That being said, I don't think it's good for a beginner, like just because we do some weird stuff. I'm going to try my best to explain what we do. It's a lot of just tying things together. It isn't really like hard. It's just different is I guess what I'm trying to say. So yeah. Also, someone asked me when I post those two on my channel, because I had a photo of them, if these guys take stuffing, and they do not. There is no stuffing in them at all. So yeah. So as always, the pattern and the band count and everything will be in the description if you want to check that out. I don't have the band count right now, so you're gonna have to check the description. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it. So I guess I'm going to show you how to make these clovers. So today I'm going to be using this exact same neon-y green. It's just like a jelly lime green color. You can use whatever shade of green you want. And then the only other thing that you're going to need that you usually don't need is you're going to need like 4 C-clips. So I have 1, but you're going to need 4. Well, I already used the other ones. Basically, we make these leaves and we have them being held by C-clips, so you're gonna just want something to hold each of these, like petals or leaves or whatever. Of course you're gonna need a hook. I'm gonna be using my double-ended hook today just because this is my favorite hook, but you can just use a regular Rainbowloom hook or a crochet hook, whatever you usually use. And I'm trying to make sure I covered everything, and yeah, I think that's it. If you're gonna want to put a face on your clover, you're gonna want to get the stuff you need for that. I'll get that a little later, though. So I guess we'll get started. So I already kind of showed you how to make this with the whole C-clip thing, but basically I'm gonna show you how to make 1 petal, and then you're gonna have to go off this tutorial and make either 3 more if you want to just do a 3-leaf clover, or you're gonna want to make... Wait, no, 3 more would be for a 4-leaf clover, because then you'd have 4 in total. I'm sorry, mathing. But you're going to want to make just however many of these you want for your clover. I'm going to be making a 4-leaf clover today, so that's why I pre-made 3 of them, so I would make 1 in the tutorial, and then I would have 4. But if you're only doing a 3-leaf, you'd only want to make 3 of these, and that's also why you need so many C-clips. But yeah, so we're going to get started. I feel like I've been saying a lot lately. I did the how to read my patterns video recently, and I said so much in that, and I was like, dang, why am I like this? Oop, accidentally knocked something over. But yeah. So I'm just picking up bands so we can get started. So to start, we're going to be doing a tripled cap band, and then we're going to be putting 4 stitches in the cap band. I've done this in a lot of my designs, so this part's pretty simple. So we're going to start by wrapping a band 3 times around our hook. So 1, 2, 3. And then, like I said, we'll be putting 4 stitches into this cap band. So you'll pull a band through everything on your hook, put both ends back on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and then we're going to go back into the cap band. You're going to want to make sure you go through the whole cap band. Pull a band through just the cap band. Put both ends back on your hook. Push the back one over the front one. And then push this loop from last time over as well. And we're going to do that exact same thing we just did 2 more times, so we have 4 loops in total. So once again, we'll go through the cap band. pull a band through the cap band, both ends back on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and then push the loop from last time over as well. We're going to do that one more time. And then we should be at 4 loops. So we're going to want to count real quick to make sure we have 4 loops. So you'll start by counting the one in your hook. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you've made sure you have 4 loops, instead of going into this cap band, we're going to go in through this first loop here. And we're going to pretty much do the same thing. So you'll pull a band through that loop, both ends back on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and then push the loop from last time over. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to leave this on our hook. So I usually just slide it down a little bit. And we're going to make another one of these. So we're going to do the exact same steps again. So once again, we'll start with a triple cap band. So 1, that's 3. Put 4 stitches in this one. I'm going to go a little faster because I already explained how to do this once. So I'm not going to explain too much the second time. But we put 4 stitches into the cap band. Oh my god, my sister and cousin are texting so much in our group chat, I'm just getting a bunch of notifications up on my screen. Okay, and then once you are pretty sure you have 4 loops, you're going to want to count to make sure. So you're going to start by counting the one in your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you've made sure you have 4 loops, instead of going into the cap band, you'll go through this first loop. And you'll just make a stitch on this first loop. Like that. And now what we're going to do is so we have 2 of these little like cap bands with stitches in them on our hook. And they should just be on your hook like this. So all we're going to do is we're going to push this back loop over the front loop. Just to kind of connect them. And our C-clip will be going on this one. So you're going to want to get your C-clip. And you're just going to put it on this one. Like that. So they should be connected just like this. All we did was we just pushed this loop over that loop. That's all that happened. So now what we're going to do is we're basically going to do a row around just with single stitches. But we're going to tie 2 loops together to kind of connect them a little bit better. So I'll show you how we do that. But first, we're basically just going to do single stitches on the next 2 loops. So this one already has a stitch on it, so we'll just go to the next loop, do a stitch, so just do a single stitch. Then we'll do another single stitch in the next loop. And then this is where we're going to connect them. So let me make sure my camera's focused. So we're going to pick up this loop. So we're going to go through that last loop. And then we're going to come to this side. And you can see that there's a stitch on this loop. So we're not going to want to go through this one. But we're going to go to the next one. We're just going to go through it. Make sure you only pick up that loop. Sometimes you might accidentally pick up one of the other loops. So just make sure you only go through that loop. And I'm going to show you again because I always almost accidentally go through this one that already has a stitch on it. So you're going to want to make sure you go on to the loop that's after that one. And you're just going to pick it up. And then we'll just make a stitch on this. So we're just going to make a stitch on both of these loops. So just make a stitch. And then we just do single stitches until we get to the C-clip. That's pretty much it. And you're going to want to make sure that you don't accidentally go onto that loop you just stitched on. But you should be good. To me, it's pretty easy to see from here on out. That part is probably the worst step. Just because it's a little weird. Okay. So once you get to the C-clip, you'll just make a stitch on the band that has the C-clip on it. And you'll move it up. So that is how you make one of these petal things. I believe if you count around, you should have 7 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Like that. And that's pretty much it. You would just set this aside and you're going to want to make however many, like I said, petals you want your clover to have. So I wanted mine to be a 4-leaf clover, so I made 4 petals. So you can see we have 4. But if you only wanted to do a 3-leaf clover, you would just make 3. So you're going to want to pause the video, go off, make the other 2. You can rewind the video if you don't remember the steps we did. I'll also have the pattern in the description, but yeah, you're just going to want to make however many of these you want. I only did up to 4. I wouldn't do more than 4, but you could do either 4 or 3. But yeah. Okay, so now we're going to want to connect all of these pieces together. And if you're doing a 3-leaf clover, it would be the same. You would just have one less, like, leaf. But basically, we're going to tie these together, kind of similar to how we tie the 2 cap bands together. In that we're going to be doing stitches on, like, 2 loops sometimes. It's easier for me to show you than explain this, because if I try to explain it, it's going to be more confusing than if I just show you. So you're going to want to put one of the leaves on your hook. So let's just put one on our hook. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through this next loop. And we're going to get another leaf. And the C-clip's towards the top of the leaf, so I'm going to go to the bottom here. I'm just going to go through a loop. And we're just going to make a stitch on both of these loops. Like that. So like that. And then we're just going to do single stitches until we get to this one that has a C-clip on it. So the next 2 loops should be single stitches. So 1. I'm sorry the lighting's being a little weird. But I just, oh my god, I hate that you guys are getting like a glare from up there. But I just did 1 single stitch. And I'm going to do another one. And then we should be at this one that has a C-clip on it. So we're just going to put the one with the C-clip on it up on our hook. Take the C-clip out and then just put the back one over the front one. Like that. And then we're going to go through this part of this loop. We're going to get another one. And we're going to go through the bottom part here. So we're just going to go through another loop that kind of lines it up right, if that makes sense. So we went through this loop. And we'll just go through this loop. Make a stitch. Like that. And then we'll just do single stitches once again. Wait, hold up. I was trying to figure out why the C-clip's on the opposite side on this one. I'm like, what the heck? Hold up. So I think I put it on upside down, yeah. I try to keep the C-clips all to one side, so I want the C-clip to be on the side I'm going to be stitching on. So if you can see, I'm going to stitch these bottom 2 loops together, and then it's on that side. That probably makes no sense, but once again, we'll just go through the next loop, go through this loop. That one? Do we want to go through that one? Or should we go? We'll go through this one. Make a stitch on the 2 loops, so that way it ties them together. Like that. And then as you can see, the next 2 loops until we get to the one with the C-clip on it, we'll just be doing single stitches. So 1, 2. And then we'll be at the loop that has a C-clip on it. So we're just going to put that loop on our hook, take the C-clip out, and then just push the back one over the front one. And we're going to do all that again. So we're going to go through this loop. And see, this is the part I was trying to explain about the C-clip. I can tell my C-clip's on this side. And so far, all my C-clips have been on this side. So I'm just going to try to keep it that way. So we're going to go through this bottom loop right here. And there's not a specific bottom loop I go through. I just try to go through whichever one looks like it'll make the leaf face the way I want it to. And then we'll just make a stitch on both of these loops. So pull a band through everything on your hook. Back one over the front one. And then you put the loop from last time over. So we just made a stitch. Then we're going to do 2 single stitches, and then we should be at the one with the C-clip on it. So we just do 1, then 2. And And then you should be at the one with the C-clip on it, so you'll just put that one up on your hook and then push the back one over the front one and take the C-clip out. And then I'm gonna check, but I'm pretty sure we just connect these two together and then we're done. But let me double check something. Okay, I was just making sure that we're at the right part. So after we do that, we're just gonna go, like I said, through the next loop, and then you're gonna go through a loop on the other side. And once again, we'll just make a stitch to connect these two together. Ah, my stitch slipped out. Hold up. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. It's just, I'm just making a stitch. It's just, I don't know why it keeps sliding off my hook. Okay, and then we're going to move this C-clip over to the one that's on our hook. Just because this is going to now be our starting point. Like that. So it should be looking a little funky right now. That just kind of happens when we tie this together. Also, that is the hardest part of this design, is tying them together. I know it's a little confusing. I know I'm going to get a comment like you should have gone slower. I'm sorry. I tried to go as slow as possible. And while explaining it to you, so if you struggled with that, I would recommend just watching the video before you do it, so that way you can see what I do. Not the best with words, but I feel like you should be able to see what I did, so yeah. But all we're going to do now is we're just going to decrease everything until it's closed. And as you can tell, there's some loops on this side as well. Basically, after we close up this side, we're going to close up this side. So there's like two sides we got to close up. But we're just going to do decreases all the way around on this side until it's closed. I mean, technically we could take the C-clip out at this point, but I just leave it in. I'm not entirely sure why. But we're just going to decrease everything until it's closed. So every single stitch we do is a decrease. Until it's closed. This is just such a weird design to make. You can ask my family when I was making this guy on the couch. I was just kind of sitting there like, how the heck am I going to explain this? Because sometimes I do whack things in my designs. And I feel like this is one of those where I just did a lot of weird things. It's like, this is going to be fun to explain. But yeah. And like I said, we can take the C-clip out at this point because we're just decreasing everything until closed. Yeah, I also just realized I didn't show you what a decrease is. So you would just grab the inside part of one loop, the back part of the next loop, and make a stitch. And we just do this all the way around. We almost got it closed up. So once you do the last decrease you can possibly do up on your hook, you're just going to pull a band through everything on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and pull tight. And then you'll just hide your tail in, but you might not want to do that yet because we still got to close up the other side. And you can kind of see that there's some loops around, and that's what we're going to be stitching on. So let me pick up some more bands. But we are almost done with this design. Once we close up both the sides, it's pretty much done. But for this side, I kind of just pick a spot to start because, I mean, it's a circle, so it doesn't really matter. I'll just start right here. And we're going to just decrease every other until it's closed. So we'll do a single stitch, then we'll do a decrease. And you're going to want to put a C-clip on the first loop. I forgot about that. So just make sure you put a C-clip on the first stitch you do. Then we'll do a single stitch. Then we'll do a decrease. Do a single stitch. We do a decrease. I do sometimes do decreases on the loops that already are like tied together. I'm not entirely sure why, but single stitch. Then a decrease. We do a single stitch. You just keep doing this all the way around, and you're going to do it on any loops that make sense in the circle. I'm pretty sure I did it on some loops I shouldn't have, but it doesn't matter. Like that. And then you just move your C-clip up. Actually, you can take it out. The C-clip was just to mark where when we made it all the way around. But now we're just going to decrease everything until it's closed. So every single stitch we do is going to be a decrease until we can't decrease anymore. And after this, we're done with the main body of our clover. I'm sorry if it was confusing. This clover is just a little bit weird to close up and just connect. Like I said, I was dreading to make this tutorial. But I hope you guys are doing okay right now. But yeah, we're just decreasing everything until closed. I don't know if I said that already. And I'm picking up bands. You know, I hate whenever seasons change because I always feel like, oh, like I felt like finally in the winter I sorted out my lighting situation. And then all the lighting changes and I'm like, whenever the seasons change, the lighting in my room changes and it's just like, ugh, I gotta figure it out again. Because now we're going to like spring, summertime. And I'm like, gosh dang it. But yeah. Okay, I don't know why I put so many bands on my finger if we are almost done, but I did. But we're just going to pick up the last possible decrease we can do up on our hook, and then pull a band through everything on our hook, push the back one over the front one, and pull tight. And that is pretty much it. So now we're just going to hide both of these tails into the shamrock. It's not that hard. It's pretty easy to do. So you'll just pull them in. Oops. So you'll just pull the tail in to hide it. Like I said, I don't stuff this design. I'm not even sure how this design would look with stuffing. I've never even tried to put stuffing in it. But you're just going to pull in both of these. Like that. Okay, so you might have to squish it around a little bit just because sometimes it like wants to go to one side. I mean, you can see that this guy's kind of like, this side's a little tighter than this side, but I think it's fine. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the main part. Like I said, if you were making a 3-leaf clover, you would have connected it the same way and you would have done all the steps the same. It just ends up a little bit smaller, obviously, because it has one less leaf. But now all we need to do is the stem. So you're going to want to pick a side that you want to put the stem on. It doesn't really matter which, you're just going to pick a spot. I'm going to go right here. And then you're going to take 2 bands, double them, and then pull them through. Put both ends back on your hook. And we're basically just going to chain up 5 more times, doubled bands. So we're going to take 2 bands, double them, pull them through everything, both ends back on our hook. And we're just going to do that, like I said, 6 times in total, so that we already did it 2 times, so we have to do it 4 more. So this will be 3, and we're just chaining up 6 times, basically. Well, 6 times in total. I hate doubled bands, but they looked the best, so we have to suffer for them. I don't know what I made. Oh, it was in the corn dog tutorial, because I do doubled bands in that one as well. And I tried to do them with silicone bands, and it was just a disaster. If you haven't watched that tutorial, I'm like struggling. So yeah, if you're using silicone bands, maybe just do doubled bands, like don't wrap them twice, because your fingers will probably die. I don't even know if there's any green silicone bands. But yeah. But once you've done it 6 times, you can usually count. So you can see that this is the first chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you'll just pull a band through everything on your hook. Push the back one over the front one and pull tight. And then you just have to weave the tail into the stem to hide it. Kind of a pain, but not really. I mean, I don't mind it too much, but you just gotta weave it in. Weave it into the stem. Almost there. Like that. Like that. So you can leave your clover blank like this. I'm going to put a face on mine because I put faces on everything. So I'm going to go grab all the stuff I need for the face. So I'm just going to get my beads and then some cheeks. And yeah. Okay, I grabbed everything I needed. So I got 2 pink bands for the cheeks. I got my eyes, and I just realized I already put them on bands, even though I usually try to show you. So let me take one off so I can show you how we put that on. I just did it without thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. But to put the bead through the band, all you're going to do is you're going to get a piece of string. I use a piece of dental floss because to me this is what works best. You're going to put your band on the string. You're going to put your eye on as well. Like that. So you just have your bead in your band. Then you fold this side over and go back through the bead. It's so hard to do this on camera. It's gotta go back through. There we go. And then you just pull the bead onto that band. So you're gonna want to pick whatever you want to be the front of your clover. I usually pick the side that's a little bit bigger because you can see it kind of goes to the back. And I'll just pick a spot. Tie my eye in. Pull it tight. And then where should the other eye go? Go right here. Get our other eye. Tie it in. Then you hide your tails into the clover. And these tails are really easy to hide. That. Oh my god, I hate when this happens. Sometimes with beads, I will shift its way around to the back. It's not good when that happens. Okay. And then if you want to put cheeks, you're just going to come under the eye somewhere. And for this one, it's a little different than when we usually do the cheeks, because when we decrease, things get a little weird, but you'll just come under the eye, pull a band through, both ends back on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and pull it tight, but not super tight. And then you just hide this tail into your clover. And that cheek is disappearing. Oh no. This eye is not cooperating. This happens sometimes. I probably didn't pull it tight enough. I'll have to fix that. Then we'll put our other cheek over here. This cheek's cooperating. See, this side is cooperating. That side is not. Let me go fix it. Okay, I fixed his face. I think I tied his face a little bit low, but yeah. It's always interesting tying things on camera. But I think that is it for this tutorial. If you wanted to do a mouth, I just cut a black band and then I'll put a dot of hot glue on his face and then just set the mouth there, and that's how I do that. I really need to make a tutorial just on how I do the mouths, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I hope your clover came out okay. I was just looking, I paused the video, and when I paused, I was just looking at both the clovers like, did I do it right? Because this design, it's so easy to get wrong, but I hope your clover turned out okay. If you make a clover, definitely share it with me on Instagram. I would love to see how yours turn out. Subscribe if you want to see more tutorials from me. I have some more tutorials coming. I've been working on different things. I have one I can show you because I'm doing a tutorial for this soon. His mouth fell off, but oh well. Yeah, so that guy's gonna be coming next, and then I'm hoping to finish the Miraculous Tsum Tsum tutorial soon. I've been planning it since like January, but things keep coming up, but hopefully soon the rest of the Miraculous Tsum Tsums will get tutorials. Hopefully. Queen Bee, yeah. Anyways, I hope you like this video. Let me know if you had any issues with it, and show me your clovers. I really like seeing them. It's also a big relief whenever I see someone make one of my designs in these tutorials, because I'm like, that means I made the tutorial correctly. So if you make a clover, definitely share it with me. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. I will see you hopefully soon in another tutorial, but bye.